Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk video. In today's episode, we'll be talking about why Jack the Ripper was never caught. Let's get right into it. Jack the Ripper is one of the most famous and most mysterious serial killers to ever live. In the year 1888, Jack the Ripper terrorized the residents in the East End of London, claiming the lives of at least 5 female victims in the most gruesome of ways. All 5 attacks seem random, which left many questioning what would have been the motive of these disturbing crimes. All the women that Jack the Ripper targeted seemed to be street workers. Their names were Mary Ann Nicholas, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Each of these victims met very similar endings, leading police to determine the murders were done by the same person. Over 100 years has passed, with several investigations being done by many different people, and still no one has ever been able to truly identify who Jack the Ripper truly is. Over the years, many have come out to claim to solve the mystery regarding the identity of Jack the Ripper, but these claims seem to always be discredited. Just as of 2019, a group of forensic scientists claim that they have finally found the identity of Jack the Ripper using DNA found by one of the victims. These scientists identified Jack the Ripper as a man named Aaron Kasamaniki, a 23-year-old man who was apparently a barber and even expected as a suspect back then. The thing is, many have come out to question this finding due to the fact that any DNA evidence that was used to determine this finding was over 100 years old, making it much less accurate and less reliable. I also believe that whoever Jack the Ripper was, he had to be some sort of surgeon, as the manner the victims were murdered points to some sort of surgical experience. In my opinion, it is possible that Aaron could have been Jack the Ripper, but more than likely this is just an educated guess, as let's be honest, DNA evidence is not known to be perfectly preserved for over 100 years. In my opinion, knowing who Jack the Ripper is isn't as important as knowing who Jack the Ripper served. If you saw my last video on Johnny Depp, then you should already know that it is believed Jack the Ripper was a Freemason, and it is also believed that his victims were used in Masonic rituals. The reason for this is because people have pointed to many pieces of evidence that directly proves that Jack the Ripper was involved in Masonry. Books were written about this theory, and even a movie was made that we'll be speaking about shortly. In my opinion, there's tons of proof directly tying Jack the Ripper to the Freemasons and clearly painting him as an occultist. The first victim, Mary Ann Nicholas, was discovered at approximately 3:40 a.m. She was found brutally murdered in what can only be called a ritual manner. It is important to note that just 1 hour before she was discovered, she was seen alive. This means that this most likely happened to Mary Ann during the hour of 3 a.m., which again points to it being a ritual. We have spoken about this in the past. 3 a.m. is considered the devil's hour, or the witching hour. It is believed that occultists use this time to perform their rituals, and this is what appears to be the case with Jack the Ripper. It is no coincidence that she was found at 3:40 a.m., as Jack the Ripper was most likely using his victim for Masonic rituals. The next victim was Annie Chapman, and she was discovered at approximately 6 a.m., very similar to the last victim. The third victim is when things become very obvious that this is all connected to the Freemasons. Catherine Eddowes was discovered similar to the other 2 victims, but this time she was found with carvings on her face. These carvings were of Masonic compasses. She had triangles carved above her cheeks under her eyes, pointing upwards, which make Masonic compasses when connected and point to the Masonic all-seeing eye. Jack the Ripper also ripped off the victim's apron and dumped it by a wall he left a coded Masonic message on. The message read, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." If this isn't more than enough evidence pointing to Jack the Ripper being a Mason, then this should be. Once the police on the scene noticed the message left by Jack, they called the police commissioner, who ordered the officers to erase the message as it connected the Ripper back to the Masonic order. The message was written in Masonic terminology, and it pointed back to the Master Mason ceremony.
To some, the words are an echo of one of Freemasonry's most secret and important ceremonies, the infamous Third Degree, reenacting the murder of biblical stonemason Hiram Abiff by 3 jealous workers known as Jubilah, Jubilo, and Jubilam. Could these have been the Ripper's Jews?
Grandmaster Hiram Abiff, I heard you cavilling with Jubilah and Jubilo. From them you have escaped, but from me never. My name is Jubilam.
During these times, most people of power were members of the Masonic order, especially in the police force. In the 1800s, Freemasonry had already completely taken over high society, and anyone who was important was a Masonic member. It is believed by many that the police were never truly trying to uncover the identity of Jack the Ripper, but instead preventing it from being known, as those who run the force were protecting the Masonic Order and their Masonic brothers. The book The Final Solution was written by a British author, Stephen Knight, and he believed Jack the Ripper was a Freemason by the name of Sir William Gull, a Freemason surgeon for the royal family. This theory has also been discredited, as Sir William would have been in his 70s when these crimes took place. What is obvious is that these killings were all connected to the Masonic Order, as all the evidence clearly shows. This is exactly what we saw in the movie From Hell. The movie From Hell got its title from the letter that is believed was sent by Jack the Ripper himself. The letter was paired with a half of a human kidney, and it read, "Sir, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you. The other piece I fried it and ate it. It was very nice. I might send you the bloody knife that took it out, if only you waited a while longer. Signed, Catch Me If You Can, Mr. Luck." To me, this letter once again points to ritual sacrifice. Paired with the Masonic carvings left on the victims, it's clear that Jack the Ripper was a Freemason occultist who used his victims for his ritual practice. In the From Hell movie, Johnny Depp plays a detective who is investigating the Jack the Ripper crimes. He quickly discovers that the Masons are behind the entire thing, and Jack the Ripper was being protected. In the movie, the Masons attempt to take out Johnny Depp's character by sending assassins after him. It is also discovered in the movie that Sir William Gull is Jack the Ripper, and by the end of the movie, the Freemasons lobotomize William in order to ensure William never reveals the truth. The movie clearly paints the Masons as the one responsible for the Jack the Ripper crimes. Aleister Crowley even claimed to know who the real Jack the Ripper was. Crowley claimed that Jack the Ripper was actually a woman named Helena Blavatsky, and he stated that she did these crimes for occultic rituals to gain occultic powers. Helena was known as an author, a medium, and an occultist, and I found it interesting that Crowley would claim she did it. This to me just further proves that these murders were all done for occultic reasons. I actually have a theory in which I believe it was never just one killer. To me, it appears the name Jack the Ripper was created as a ploy to cover up those who were truly responsible for the murders. There has never been any evidence proving that it was just one person involved. Jack the Ripper never actually existed, and instead, it seems to have been the actions of an entire lodge. The reason the killers were never discovered was because they never tried catching him. As we saw, the police purposely hid information and saw obvious proof that tied the crimes to the Masons, but still turned a blind eye and instead got rid of evidence. Who knows what else they hid from the public? For all we know, they could have discarded much more proof linking these crimes to the Freemasons. It's even possible that the clues left behind at the murder scene was to secretly show other police Mason members to take care of the situation. We have seen countless times before movies like Eyes Wide Shut hide the truth in plain sight. This is what we're seeing with the movie From Hell. The movie is hiding the truth in plain sight. The movie clearly shows that Jack the Ripper was associated with the Freemasons and was doing Masonic rituals. They even showed very close enough to a real Masonic initiation ritual in the movie with real Masonic attire. The movie made it clear that the Masons still won and Jack the Ripper was never caught. By the end of the movie, the Masons' secrets are still kept and the Masons still get rid of the detective. As we can see, this is the reason Jack the Ripper was never truly identified, because he was connected to the Masonic Order. Whether it was one man or a few members of a lodge, the Masons made sure the truth never came out. Unfortunately, the mystery of Jack the Ripper will always remain just that, a mystery. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon, the link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.